Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So I'm going to be talking today about two things. Firstly, what's happening astronomically in relation to what the astrologers call Lionsgate's portal. And then secondly, the eclipse, which is happening on Wednesday, the 12th. And what I channeled in relation to these astronomical events. And then secondly, I'll be talking about the heart and how it was described to me by the light being that came through. So let's start with the astronomy. So we had what the astrologers call the Lionsgate's portal on Saturday, which is now 2 days ago, but the energy of it is still being felt, and the upgrade or upload is still happening, as it were. We're still experiencing that. So what I channeled about these two events was because I was curious. I wanted to know, how are they relevant to us? What can we do to support them if they're going to affect us? And how will they impact us? How will they impact the Earth? I channeled a being from the star group Sirius, which I've had come through a couple of times recently, which is very beautiful, very intelligent energy. He confirmed to me who he was by showing me ancient, how did he describe it? He showed me the pyramids and other ancient sites, but he also told me that he was an ancient civilization star being. In relation to the Lionsgate portal, he said that it is a lining up of Earth with, when there's an alignment of planets and stars with Earth, what it does for us is bring in more light and energy. And what it will be doing is to update us at all the way down into our body at a cellular DNA and even to the subatomic level. So it was bringing like more coherence, more light energy, and updating our patterns. And he also explained that there is this dichotomy. When we go inwards, human beings in our 3D reality think of this as going smaller. He said, but actually, this is the dichotomy of multidimensional reality, that when you go inwards and go smaller, it's actually allowing you to access the greater, the macrocosm. So, and this is relevant in a moment as well. So this is why he explained this to me. When we talk about the eclipse, it will be relevant for understanding what the eclipse is doing. So he said it was like an enhancement, an upgrade, and a upgrading of our patterns, of our structures, our internal light energy structures, all the way down to a subatomic level. Okay, and then he said, I asked, well, okay, so then what does the eclipse do? And he said, the eclipse is like an inverse reactor or a vacuum. So I said, vacuum, does that mean a sucking? He said, no, that's not how a vacuum works. He said, it's different. And he was trying to explain to me, so I stayed with him for a while trying to, on this particular concept, trying to understand. And then I looked it up afterwards to get a greater understanding. I looked it up on the internet. What is a vacuum? What is an inverse reactor? So he obviously has concepts and understandings far beyond mine, far beyond ours as normal human beings. So, unless you're in the scientific world, and then maybe you understand more about this. So he said the vacuum, let's see the scientific term here. A vacuum is a volume empty of matter. I'm just looking it up on the internet here because it gives a better description than I can. Sometimes called free space. In practice, only partial vacuums are possible, so says the internet. The definition of a vacuum is not precise, but it's commonly taken to mean pressures below and often considerably below atmospheric pressure. So what he was trying to explain to me, this Sirian being, was that the cosmos and that absence of light in the eclipse will create like a vacuum where whatever is showing up for us here in our being is going to be amplified out into the cosmos, like communicated outwards. So vibrationally, and he showed me waves, so like vibrational waves, it will be transmitted outwards and amplified outwards to the cosmos and beyond, out to the universe. So whatever we are holding, so the Lionsgate portal, the alignment with the stars, with some of the star groups, particularly Sirius, is about us receiving and amplifying to us. And then the eclipse is following up by creating a vacuum, so an absence, a free space outside of us, where then something has to come into that free space, which is what a vacuum is. So whatever we are holding will be transmitted out to that free space, which is the cosmos. So this was super interesting. And I asked, okay, how can we support this process? As we know, we don't need to force anything. The cycles of nature and how life is constructed, built in this very intelligent, supportive way, we don't need to force anything. What we do is we build the foundation so that we can allow these cycles and pulls and vacuums and alignments and increase in energies to increase, to change, to shift anything within us on an emotional, a cellular level, whatever it may be, on a multidimensional level. So he said, yeah, you can go inwards all the way down, take your awareness and your focus in. So this is an active practice, taking the attention in and taking it down to a cellular level, a DNA level, a subatomic level, and open up, almost with your intention, open up for change to happen, for patterns to change, to shift. He said also drink water, because water, he confirmed, carries the vibration. It reverberates, it holds the signal, the vibration of whatever we're holding. It carries it out like a wave. So the water carries the message. So that the water acts like a third party, and remember we're nearly 70% water. That's not by coincidence, that is through the intelligence of being, through the intelligence of nature. Water carries the message. So drink water. Okay, so that was the first part of the message. Then I did some more channeling yesterday, and it was specifically about the heart, and I've taken a few notes here so that I don't forget. So they said, keep treading the path, following the light and the inwards expansion and growth. So again, there is this dichotomy of going inwards in our 3D reality means go smaller, smaller, smaller. But actually, the multidimensional reality of that is going inwards leads us to expansion. It's about letting your layers go, the things that limit you, limit your belief and understanding and your potential. You only have to focus on your heart and it opens like a focus-activated Stargate. The awareness activates the inner keys to connection and multidimensional reality. And they showed me like a rose-type flower opening up as I took my attention there, opening up, and all the petals, each petal was like a key of connection to multiple dimensions and fields of consciousness and realms. They said, it's this easy. Attention is the catalyst for action. So in our 3D world, it doesn't mean that we can just sit on our bums all day. This is my understanding so far, that we can just sit on our bums all day and things will happen. We live in 3-4D reality as well. So we have to take the steps so that almost like the universe can meet us and allow us to create. So we are still in this physical world. However, they were emphasizing that in other ways, in multidimensional ways, attention and focus is the catalyst for action, and it is that easy. So taking your attention into your heart, allowing it to open up, is enough for the action to happen, to open up. Your heart is a Stargate. And how they showed it me was very fascinating. I don't know if they were using imagery that us humans can relate to or whether it's actually like this, but that's the thing with channeling. You never know if some is just imagery that's helpful to us for understanding or whether it's actually how it is. And they showed me the heart like this sort of sci-fi, so it was a cross between like a flower blooming open and this sci-fi like key or box that opens up in all sorts of ways when you push something or you put the right thing in place and then it starts to click, 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 open up. So it showed me the heart as that. So placing your attention can create action in this multi-dimensional reality that we live, that we can tap into and connect to. And it showed me that each petal was literally connecting. So all these many, many, many petals connecting to all, like stranding out to connect to all these multi-dimensional and fields of consciousness and realms. So it was pretty powerful and pretty significant. And, they always give a lot of imagery so that we can see and understand and feel. So a lot of these things, if we think about them, they can't come through. This is why we are transitioning more from more into the heart and our sensory intelligence and our inner visual experience, our inner perception, rather than this mental thought process, which is limited. It can only get us so far. So that is one of the key takeaways here as well. Coming inwards to meet that dichotomy that we can open up and sense and feel and connect to a lot more than we can in our mind. Okay, so how is this feeling for you? How are you experiencing this alignment of what the astrologers call the Lionsgate portal, the eclipse that is happening in 2 days on Wednesday? I have a live 30-minute meditation inwards, going inwards to our heart to transmute emotions and step into the love state of consciousness, which is one of the major steps of our process of what some people are calling ascension or evolving, as I like to call it. stepping into this love state of consciousness that happens through our heart center. That is happening on Patreon. You need to be a paid member, which is just €8 a month, and you will have access to this guided live meditation. It starts at 7 p.m. CEST, so that's GMT +2. I'm only making it 30 minutes this time. Normally my lives are an hour, but because of the eclipse, and I know some of us will be wanting to go and see the eclipse, which peaks at 8:15 CEST. So we finish at 7:30, so you still have 45 minutes to go and see the peak of the eclipse. So go to my Patreon, sign up if you want to join live. The recording, if you pay and become a member and you can't make it on Wednesday, the recording will also be available to you. But I was told that to be in that energy and going inwards at the time of the beginning of the eclipse or during the eclipse at some point was particularly relevant, particularly powerful. So that's why I'm keeping it to that time. Every time I talk about this, my guides come in and signal that, confirm to me that the energy is building to this. So there will be quite some power available and energy available in this inward process, and to do it at the time of the eclipse is just perfect, right? Okay, so comment below, subscribe. I do a weekly update here of what's being channeled, what's coming through. It's often particularly relevant to everything that's going on at this time and what is happening astronomically, it seems. So in the cosmos, in our solar system, what is happening and impacting us on Earth and for humanity. With much love, and I'll see you next time.